So in this segment, we're going to be reacting to this video from the Byline Times about the UK's rivers dying because in part down to the fact that we've lowered the restrictions on pollutants in the water because of the B word, Brexit. So let's watch the video.
All of a sudden, the clarity of the water just diminished.
Sorry, the resolution's just completely died. Oh wait.
I couldn't quite understand what was going on. It was like hitting a wall of muck. And I was unaware what this muck was. And it wasn't until I surfaced that I realised that muck was sewage.
So this man was in the water, in the river, doing whatever he does, science stuff, and he was just hit by, a massive sewage discharge from one of the water companies. Crazy.
And I was in the middle of a sewage discharge. And by the time I'd got out, I was covered in human waste. I was covered in sanitary waste. It was vile.
You got to think that could have made him incredibly sick. That if it was just the guy swimming in the river, he would have become incredibly sick at that point. We've covered how the beaches have become hotspots for bacteria because of all the dumping we're doing in the ocean. We've covered that before. That was grim. You've got wildlife and things like that that's dying. People becoming sick, getting things like E. coli, surfers and swimmers getting very ill, and you're going to see it in the rivers now as well.
Years ago, the River Wharfe in Victorian times was a very, very big swimming area. These days, very few people will actually swim in the river, to be quite honest. They've been getting stomach cramps, sickness, all sorts, literally from swimming in the river with the amount of sewage that's going in. So this is Wetherby Sewage Treatment Plant on my right-hand side, and to my left side is the scene of the crime where I've done plenty of filming of sewage discharges into the river, and this is what's known as a CSO.
This CSO at Wetherby arrived about 5 minutes ago. Notice trickle now. It's at full whack, going straight into the river.
What comes out?
I mean, it's wild, isn't it? They're dumping raw sewage straight into a river. Like, the amount of damage that's going to do to the wildlife around there is crazy.
Out of this is absolutely disgusting because it will at times contain everything that's flushed down the toilet, from sanitary towels, condoms, wipes, literally everything goes into the river. Lower downstream, we will have sewage fungus growing. The smell that comes from it is so distinctive. You know immediately what it is because it is absolutely vile. When I'm filming in the river, I've got my dry suit on, I have a full face mask, I have dry gloves, and I've got a hood on as well. I would not get in this river unless I was wearing my equipment. It's as simple as that. Just wouldn't.
You got to see the animals kind of feed off this stuff as well, and the UK already had a problem with having loads of grade B and C water as is. It's one of the reasons why shellfish had to be purified once they reached the EU were members. That's one of the reasons why shellfish producers are having so many issues, is because the grade of the UK water is so bad that the shellfish have to be purged of the the bacteria, essentially purified. That's the word. And once the fish are purified, the shelf life is really low for shellfish, the ones that we're trying to export. So what happens is, because the UK doesn't have enough purification facilities, it leads to some of the people having the shellfish in this country. What happens is they gotten very sick of it. I remember saw a story over a month ago, I think it was, where people had gotten very sick after eating a certain kind of shellfish, and that was because it was full of bacteria, because they hadn't been purified, or not purified properly.
Yeah, I do think it's a sense of betrayal, to be quite honest, because government just seem to be burying their heads. Quite honest, I felt extremely let down by the government, but there again, nothing surprises me. I do find it upsetting. Every English river is polluted. Only 14% of English rivers have a good ecological standard.
Only 14%, that's wild. You know, UK is a country full of rivers as well, as many other countries are, and it's just sad that this has happened. It really is. The amount of wildlife we're killing off is insane. The amount of fish and other animals we're going to lose because of this is crazy. And because the government have allowed companies to dump raw sewage because we can't get the cleaning chemicals into the country. Wild.
In September 2000, a report from the Environment Agency, English rivers had 92% good health. The difference, we are going backwards instead of striving to go forwards, and we need to move forwards.
No, the year 2000 we had a Labour government and we were a member of the EU, so to show you that.
The way that we're going on, if this carries on, our rivers will become ecologically dead. It's as simple as that. The river flies, which are like the main signal warning for the rivers, the little invertebrates, I am finding areas now that's literally void of life to 30. And slowly these rivers are dying. And the rivers are the arteries of the country. They've shaped many towns, villages and cities. And to see the demise of what should be a vibrant area, for me, I find it extremely upsetting. We are literally destroying what's on our own doorstep. Water is life. We need it to survive. To me, this is our most precious resource, and this is how we're treating it.
And this is this is great work from the Byline Times as always. And you've got to think that, you know, some of this water will get siphoned back into the system and it will get filtered out and people will end up drinking it. That's what's going to happen. So again, it's like how did we let this happen? We're dumping raw sewage into English rivers, and people that have swum in those rivers have gotten very ill from it. You know, they get incredibly bad illnesses from the E. coli and the sewage in those waters. All of that wildlife, you know, those fish, whatever else lives in these rivers, they're all going to die because of these actions the government has taken. And I don't know what more to say. You know, this video is really well done. This man's very passionate about what he's talking about, but I just feel as though many people don't care until it really affects them, until like the water ends up really badly polluted, where, you know, people that start drinking the water become ill. But you've seen it in Flint, Michigan, where, you know, they have problems with, I think it's lead pipes, and nothing has happened for over a decade because of that. So even if people start getting sick off the water, I don't know if people even care, you know. And I don't know. This country's so whack at the moment where people only care about something once it impacts them. So again, you know, I didn't even plan this, but you see, like the video title there of a Ramsey one, "Hey Panini Head, you'll kill someone." So that's what this government are doing. That's what someone should say to Boris Johnson: "You'll kill someone," because people get very bad illnesses from this water. But I'm going to end up rambling on for a while. But it's just so crazy how badly we've let things go under, you know, these Tory governments, especially this one, killing rivers, killing wildlife. They just don't care. You know, we're going to be talking about in a couple of weeks the culling of the pigs, essentially, where farmers have just given up that they know the butchers aren't coming and they've had to cull a load of their pigs. So we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks or wherever, depending on the schedule. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the Byline Times. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.